All right. Welcome to the Whiskey and Whitetails podcast, the podcast for those who hunt with passion and drink with a purpose. As always, we're your hosts. I'm Gus.
I'm Matt.
And as always, thank you to our Patreon for their loyal support. Thanks to the Waypoint Network for having us. And thank you for listening, for subscribing, sharing, commenting, and all the other ways you guys support us. We appreciate it. This week, we are going to recap a little bit about Matt's experience picking some barrels and running around all over Kentucky, and talk a little bit about where you can find us locally for Father's Day and whatever else comes to mind. So, stay tuned.
Hey, and we're live.
Hive.
Today's background is
Barrels.
with a thief there. That's from
Dope picture.
the Wild Turkey Distillery.
That's a frameable picture.
I was surprised. It's a little grainy in the back, but I wonder if you can show like the whole. No,
Just like share screen. No,
yeah. Whatever. There it is. It's a good picture, I think.
That's cool, man.
Yeah. How's your week been?
Week was a little bananas. Let's see. Made some progress on getting the workbench finished, which I've got to get finished because I gotta get caught up on making products. But that went good. I started a time lapse video. When I get it finished, I'm waiting on some parts to come in the mail. I will finish that and show a little time lapse of the rebuild, which would be kind of cool. Spent 2 nights ago in the ER from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. with my youngest son, thinking that we had a little acute appendicitis going on. Turns out I think he's just constipated and really shit. So we got transferred from one hospital to another for ultrasounds and imaging. So that'll be an expensive shit.
Kids.
Yeah, man, kids are great.
Didn't you have appendicitis?
I did. Yeah. Back in 2018, I think it was.
And we thought it was because I was using Kratom because Kratom could like first came out and then like you tried it and you were like, it gave me appendicitis.
Yeah.
Did you ever find out if that's true?
So I looked into it and I have seen some things where Kratom, in some rare cases, has been linked to it, but nothing definitive. I don't think.
Yeah. Scared me out of using it.
Well, I remember I had a hockey tournament and I played a game and I felt like shit like the whole time. Like I felt like I needed to shit. And then I went home and I was like, I don't feel right. And ended up coming back the next morning for the championship game of that tournament. And because I wanted to watch the guys play, but I was like, look, guys, I don't feel right. Like I can't play. And I just felt super bloated, didn't feel right. And finally, Jessica talked me into going to the emergency room. I went down there and not only did I have acute appendicitis, but it had already perforated, like it had burst slightly. So if I had not gone to the doctor, if I'd just been like, it's just gas, I might have gone septic and had a really, really bad problem.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that that you went because you're like me, where hospitals like the last place I want to go.
Dude, I hate hospitals. Spending first off, they're depressing, and then I mean, it makes it even worse whenever you're there with your child, and there's nothing you can do. You know what I mean? As a parent, being able to help your child and make them feel better it's such a inherent like DNA fiber of your being type thing, and to be completely helpless is the absolute worst. But yeah, it was 3:00 in the morning by the time I got home, and I still took a shower because I just can't. Hospitals are gross. Man.
The CDC called me yesterday. I was sitting on the couch. And they said, it said, hold on.
They issue an apology?
It said CDC National Immunization Clinic. That's who called me. What? And so I stared at it and I was like, why? And I was like, I ain't got nothing going on. So I was like, hello? Like, hi, I'm calling from the CDC, blah, blah, about immunizations. And I was like, I'm not interested. And she's like, well, I'm not selling anything if that makes it any better. And I was like, I know you're not selling anything. I was like, the last thing you guys were giving away, I didn't want either. She's like, well, we share your experience, even if it's negative. And I said, no, I'm pretty beat down. I'm pretty over it. And she was like, well, I'm really sorry to hear that.
Oh man, dude. I'll share an experience. Have you turned on the news in the last 3 years? There's my experience.
I hung up the phone. I told like Andy was sitting there and I was like, it's not her fault. I'm not mad at her.
Right. Yeah. No, it's never, that's something that's a mind shift that happened, in the last 5-10 years. When I was younger, I would always find myself, if I was upset, getting upset at the server or whoever it was right there, but it's not their fault. Right.
Yeah.
They're just the messenger. But
You know
that's
what I am tired of though?
I'm sick and tired of ordinary people being fleeced.
That's what I'm
I'm
tired
sick
of.
and tired of it too, man. Joe, Grandpa Joe.
What are you sipping on? Is that cream of Kentucky I see back there?
Oh man, good eye. Good eye.
Nice.
It is cream of Kentucky. This is the Kentucky Straight Rye whiskey, the bottled and bond, which is one of my favorites.
Nice. That's
That's
we got that last year in Kentucky, right?
We did, yeah. We were kind of bouncing around. We both kind of had a few things that we were keeping an eye out for. You more specifically, so you were passing things up, and you kind of eyeballed that, and I was eyeballing it, and you were like, "I wouldn't pass that up if I were you."
Yeah,
so I didn't.
it's good. Glad you got that. I'm gonna do the super vat.
Oh, nice.
Haven't been able to. There's not that much gone, which is surprising for me. But usually when I find a bottle, it's
I've been going through and looking at the bottles that I've had for a year or more, and that are fairly empty, and trying to work through them because we're going to Kentucky in 2 months, and I make some space for what I bring home.
Did we talk about closing down the studio and all the bourbon we threw away?
Oh no, we probably should have filmed that.
Probably should have.
Especially after Dan, the bourbon man, whether it was real or not, dumped out that Blanton's, and the comments alone were worth it.
Yeah, it was fake. The he posted like 2 days later of him pouring into a jug
Oh, okay.
in the sink. Yeah, which I knew it was fake when he did it, but you got to do what you got to do for the
So
gram.
funny, like blocked. Like, oh come on, man! Like
Unfollowed.
you're grown adults getting mad because another grown man spent his money and decided to waste it. It's his money.
Yeah. Stupid, but yeah, when we were closing down the studio, we had this. I mean, it was one of those things like at that time, if we just didn't have enough time. We didn't have enough time or space to deal with it. So there was stuff that we didn't really care for. That I mean, it was good. I mean, decent bottles in there, but there was stuff that was unopened that we threw away, and I hauled it out to the trash can in a black bag, and there was 2 police officers sitting in the parking lot. I was like, "You guys like bourbon?" And he was like, "Fuck yeah." I said, well, first of all, when I was walking up to him and I had that bag, I was like, this is going to be extremely weird, but hear me out. And he was like, I'm a police officer in North Charleston. There's nothing that you can do that'll be weird to me.
I don't doubt it.
But I pulled it open and he was like, there's a law in South Carolina that we can't transport open bottles. I was like, no, I know. I don't do it either. I never drive around with open bottles in my truck all the time.
I'm not saying that's what I want you to do. I was just saying, like, here's some stuff. If you
yeah,
knew someone that wanted to come sit here and drink the rest of it and then get a ride home,
yeah,
definitely not to take it home and drive with it in them.
He took a couple of the full bottles, but like all those half empty bottles, I mean, straight in the trash.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? I mean, to be honest, most of those had been there since for at least a year, and if we weren't really drinking on them, then
yeah. I mean, if they were good, they would have been gone.
Well, there were a handful that were straight trash.
Yeah, for sure. Like we finally threw away the Gallong and the what's the one, the oak and ivy or oak and stave or whatever, where they put the staves inside of it.
Is it Oak and Eden?
Yeah. Threw that away, which if you've ever, for those that don't know, if you buy that with the stave in it, the longer that shit sits in there, the more oaky it's going to get. So, you kind of got to pour that in a decanter once it gets to where you like it. But you leave it in there, it'll just become an oak popsicle that's melted.
Oh,
fucking disgusting. I'm gonna give this a nose. Man, so good. I got wild turkey drunk last night.
Did you?
Yeah, mostly store picks.
Yeah, I drank I've polished off. I meant to take a picture of it for Colton, but I polished off one of those Yellowstone picks that they did a while back.
Nice.
I finished one yet last night. It was pretty good. That bottle got better as I drank it. I wasn't a huge fan right at first, and of course I'm not going to say anything, but I just stuck with it, and I really liked it. The last probably half to third of that bottle was really good.
It's funny you bring that up because that's the first pick we did last weekend.
Yeah. I have another one. I bought 2 stickers. At the time, I got another one I haven't even opened yet.
I'll give like the run through. That guy. So it's a long story. I'll get into it eventually, but we left with Gibby's bottle shop, and so 3 of his friends, Pat, Brian, and Mark, and we flew out Friday morning, which I didn't know this, but did you know Breeze has first class?
Oh no, I did not.
I didn't either. We got first class seats, round trip, leave Friday, come home Monday for I think it was $180.
What?
Yeah. Now their first class isn't like Delta first class, but There's the leg room, the seats recline, and you can put your feet up a little bit, but there's no
Sure.
TV, nothing like that.
It's a fairly short flight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half.
Oh, that's easy day.
Yeah, I watched like a portion of a movie and then finished it on the way home. But yeah, we got there Friday and got the rental car, and we went and got breakfast because we landed at like 10 or 9:30 or something like that. Maybe it was 8:30. I don't know. And then we got on those Lime scooters and started scooting around town. And like Caleb and all them were riding stairs. And
I remember
when I make the video, it'll all be in there.
I remember you sending me that. I saw a picture. You sent me a video of it, and I don't think you guys had been in town even 2 hours. And you
Yeah.
were like, "Oh, can't wait for our first broken bone."
Yeah. That was, yeah. It didn't happen. I was the only one that got hurt. Surprise. I'm always the only one that gets hurt. Stupid.
So you guys flew into. I'm sorry. Where'd you say you flew into Louisville, right?
Yeah.
And
You have
then
to say it with gravel in your mouth. Louisville.
Louisville. Sorry, Louisville. It's like
Yeah.
Fayetteville. Yeah,
Fayetteville. Greenville.
Greenville. It is like you get gravel in your mouth.
Yeah. That's what it is.
And so you guys hit like I was surprised. Like I remember you mentioning some of the places you were going, and maybe I just kind of went in one ear and out the other. But how many total distilleries did you guys go to?
Shit. I don't know.
I know you didn't do picks at all of them, but you guys, it was
12?
like after another.
Maybe 12.
Jesus. It's like you hit the entire Bourbon Trail in a weekend.
I think we did everything but Maker's Mark. And
Yeah.
I mean, of all the big ones.
Yeah.
I don't know that we went inside Old Forester now that I think about it, but yeah, I don't think we did.
But Yellowstone was the first one you guys did, right?
Yeah. So we had a rental car, and when we got there, we were getting in the parking lot, and Caleb's like, tell him we Ubered here. And so we were like, okay. I mean, that's all he said as we were walking in the door. So she was like, who's the DD? He's like, oh, we Ubered here. And she was like, is he going to come back to get you? Because the Uber drivers don't come out here. And he was like, we'll figure it out. And she's like, no, we got to figure it out now because you got to find a way to get home.
Wow.
And then she was like giving us the 10th degree. And Pat said, he was like, oh, I'll drive us home. And she's like, so you did drive here then? And then I just walked away because like they buckled under pressure like immediately. So he became the DD and couldn't drink the whole time, which was
That's a bummer.
for sure. That's the only time that's ever happened to us. I've never been anywhere where they're like, who's the DD? Somebody here can't drink.
Huh. Well, I'm guessing it's because of maybe where that location is and the
100%.
Yeah.
Lawsuit city, probably.
Oh yeah, that's pretty funny. So it sounds like she's solidified herself as the DD safe driving concierge there at Yellowstone.
Yeah. Yep. And now that I put these in here, I just realized that we can't talk over them. So I might actually just share the video on the thing. So, but yeah, we got to, let's see if I can pull that up easily. Yeah. There we go. So that's inside Yellowstone.
Oh, nice.
But they have like the whole history and they're associated with the beams and stuff. And there's the floor. But there was a guy in there, and this became like a joke for the entire time we were there. But there was a guy in there. His name was Stephen.
Only a few beans ever owned their own distilleries. One of which was Minor Case Bean here in this picture. Stephen Paul's great-grandfather. First time I saw that picture, I challenged both brothers to grow that mustache. Paul's a quitter. Shaved his off in 3 weeks. Steve's got a full duster.
That's his real voice. Does he really talk like that?
Steve's got the full duster. So while we were in front of him and other people were in front of him, yes, he really talks like that. Now, I won't say who we were talking to that's pretty big in the industry. We may have done a pick with him. He was saying he didn't used to talk like that. And so it's like, but they said he's been around forever and nobody really knows where he got to start from. He's never been a distiller, but he's just been around forever.
Yeah. Just kind of part of his little repertoire, his little show.
Yeah. And it's he's aggressive and he stares like in your soul as you're talking. Like one of the guys with us was like every time he'd look at him, he'd kind of look down at the floor. And so I made it a game. Like if Steven looked at me, his name is Stephen Fontaine. If Steven looked at me, I just glared right back. And eventually it got so uncomfortable that I'm sitting there like, this is weird. And then he'd move on to the next guy and stare at that guy. So I don't know if it's just a game he does.
He sounds like Leonardo DiCaprio's character in what's that movie that we like? And why can't I think of it? With
Django?
Yeah, Django.
Oh, yeah.
He talks like a straight up Kentucky colonel.
Yeah, he is a Kentucky colonel.
Oh, he is a colonel.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
Yeah. He's also Louisiana. What's the Louisiana one?
I didn't know Louisiana had one.
I'm gonna Google it. Kentucky colonel versus Louisiana. I can't remember what it's called. A Louisiana Steward or something. It's like a real thing. It's like a Kentucky colonel.
Yeah, it's I know what you're talking about now. Hold on.
Well,
I'll figure it
that's
out
what he
later.
is. But he's interesting. So he kept saying winning whenever he was talking about himself, because he's he'd be like blah blah, and he's like winning. And so I just realized when I was prepping for this episode that I actually have him on video saying winning.
Oh, that's gotta be a soundbite.
It's got to be a soundbite. So it's at the very end of the clip. You can barely hear it. And also, I'll point out Caleb in this video. You can see Caleb is fucking over it. It's hilarious. I'll play this clip.
All right.
$25 a night to stay there. The cheapest hotel in Long Island. Look at me winning.
You hear him? Look at me winning. Look at me winning, he said. Did you see Caleb's face?
Yeah, like it does not stop.
He was a rambunctious sword, as they would say. He was full of energy.
Full of himself, it sounds like.
Yeah. I don't have a problem with the guy. I thought he was funny. I'll tell you this, the more you drink, the more you like, all right, yeah, let's turn this up some. But like first kind of, as soon as we walked in the door, she was like, all right, Steven's going to take you guys around. Have you ever met Steven before? And we were like, no. She was like, he's a lot. And he was.
Well, he gets paid, I assume. He works there, correct?
Yeah, he works there.
Okay, so well, he gets paid well, good enough to keep putting it on.
He was an interesting guy. I liked him. But yeah, so we did a pick there, which was pretty interesting. We tasted 9 barrels. So they had 3 different proofs they offered us, and there's 3 barrels at each proof. And he had this really complicated system of like, you give it a star, like this is my favorite, but he waited till everything was done. And so we gave it a star, and he's like, all right, these 3 had stars at varying proofs. This is the best at this proof, this proof, this proof. So we did those together. And then he was like, do you give this a 5-star rating? And I was like, okay, yeah, I like this one the most. And me and Caleb actually picked the exact same, Caleb and I picked the exact same barrel. And it was the lowest proof one. It just, to me, it had the most flavor.
Yeah.
But there was some confusion because usually when the barrels are higher proof like that, they'll water them down. And they weren't watering these down. So a couple of guys didn't know that. And I think that they were interested in the flavor, but watered down, but just full proof. It was too much.
Gotcha.
Yeah. We picked a barrel and, headed back to the Airbnb, which I think, you know how you have to have like catchy titles for your videos?
Yes.
I think our video might be, is, how do I say this? Is doing a barrel pick worth dying for? I think that'll be, and I'll start it out with like, I'll share this video. So there's a liquor store across the street from the house. So without showing the house or anything else, because I don't really have all those pulled up.
Yeah.
But without doing all that, this one right here, this is the liquor store across the street.
Please leave these cool cat guys alone. Please leave them alone, bro. Please leave them alone, bro. The problem ain't please damn leave them damn alone. Well, if you trying to get a big red soda pop, ask them can they buy your famous soda pop. That's all, but leave them alone.
You buy this dude soda
leave
pop.
them damn alone. You ain't going
You
ain't going.
They have anything good there?
No.
Okay.
No. They had what was it? I'll show that one too. It was we had bought Maker's Mark.
Oh, okay.
Or not Maker's Mark, Woodford. One of the guys that bought a bottle of Woodford for the house, just some house bourbon.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
And this is the second liquor store we went to.
Time I came in here, they had the Sazerac and stuff in the back.
They got bubble drink. So there's guys in the corner smoking cigarettes inside this liquor store. And like these signs you can see up there on the plexiglass, they were covering bullet holes.
Just the 750 there.
Yeah, I was gonna say they look like there's no order to them.
No, they were everywhere because even we were asking stuff that was in there. So they had a bottle that I did want. They had the Woodford, the world, whatever the barrel proof fancy bottle one.
Yeah.
And they're like 400 on online.
Yeah.
So I told him, I was like, how much is this? And he was like, I don't know. He's like, I'll have to call the owner. And I was like, look, I don't have time. I'll give you $100 cash right now. Like $100, just walk out. And he's like, I have to call her. I don't know. So he calls her and she's like arguing with him. And I was like, look, man, I don't have time because I was starting to feel uncomfortable to be honest.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't have time, man. I got to go. $100.
Now you just timed yourself out for having at least $100 cash on yourself.
Right. That's why I realized we got to get out of here. And so the guy was like, he's like, I don't know. I got to talk to her. And so she ended up saying like, I need at least 300 for it. And I was like, no, I can't do 300. But then we, so I'll save all those videos of the townhome for the house for the YouTube video.
Yeah.
But after that, we went out and got scooters. And then this happened pretty quickly.
No rules, right, Taylor?
Hey, cocksucker.
I don't remember what. That's the reason I'm not playing a lot of stuff because I don't know what was said in the background.
Yeah.
He got pulled over pretty quickly for. You have to obey the rules of the road, on a scooter.
Yeah.
We didn't know that, but you're not on the sidewalk, and you can't.
You can't get on the sidewalk at all?
No, but we did.
Yeah.
Like I lived on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I'm not cruising around Louisville with.
Yeah, it was pretty sketch, but it was a good time. There was all right, just make sure I had the right one set up there. But yeah, it was a good time. We just kind of partied the entire weekend. It was very interesting. There's a lot of fun stories to tell, and I don't know how many will make the video, but I will tell one story. There was this girl riding around. I don't know if I should even tell. Nothing happened. It's just we were joking around with her, and she ended up joking around with us, and she turned out to be looking for money.
Oh,
I'll just tell the story. Just, screw it.
okay.
Okay. So we were riding around, and this is, I guess, PG-13, we'll call it. So we were riding around, this van pulled up, and this girl was like, she wanted to hang out with us. And it was this, like, I don't know, probably our age, mid-30s woman, and this older lady that was quite hefty. And she's driving her around. So she's in the passenger seat, and she just wants to hang out. So we're like, okay. So we're on scooters. So we scoot over there, and she's sitting there, and she has a pint of vodka in her like bottom shelf plastic pint.
Yeah.
Next to a pack of Pall Malls sitting in the center console. And Caleb's like, you're just riding. I can't remember the name of the vodka, but he's like, you're just riding around with that nasty shit, in the front seat. And she's like, she just like completely dismissed it as though that was everyday stuff. And so, yeah, right. And so somebody, not me, or it could have been me, was like, show us your boobs. Right? Just joking around, And so I scooted off. And so she's complaining about, I guess she was complaining about her boyfriend had left her for a prostitute. And she's like, I'm not a prostitute. Blah, 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 blah. And so somebody had said something else. And she was like, you got to pay for it. And we were like, you just said you're not a prostitute. She's like, well, I better be charged for money if I got all these boys standing around. So I just left. I was like, you got one less. And I dipped. So I didn't talk to her anymore. So Kayla's over there just messing with her. And so she leaves. She comes back like 30 minutes later, gets out of the car and pulls her shirt down. And so I'm sitting at a table with the other guys, and I'm not even. So anyway, it turns out the woman driving was her mother.
What?
That's the point of the story.
Damn, dude, Louisville wild.
Yeah.
Jeez,
it was crazy. We were all quite disgusted, but yeah, I have some funny clips of like locals. We were showing them where we were staying and just their response to how bad of a neighborhood that is.
Who booked that? Who booked that?
So we're gonna equally take blame.
Okay.
because it was sent in the group chat and we all kind of agreed. Yeah, I mean, I didn't look into it. I didn't. I figured one of the other four people would have looked into it, and I guess they all thought the same thing.
Yeah,
So it was cheap, and we just booked it, and it looks really nice on the inside.
of course.
You just have to like street view it to see, and they, they don't really give you the address anyway, so we couldn't tell exactly where it was at.
Right, right, right.
But
Now, as a reminder, don't book blindly.
yeah,
Check out Google Street View, see what's creeping around in the daylight.
right. And for anyone going, it's like a red house. Don't stay in a red house in downtown Louisville.
Red House. That's how far, so where I don't know enough about Louisville. Like where were you at in like from where we go downtown typically, or where Moonshine University is? Were you far from that?
So if you're driving down like where Old Forester is, and
Yeah.
we keep going, you can turn right to get kind of on the interstate there, that weird on ramp.
Yep.
If you keep going, you go to Peerless.
Yep.
So if you keep going about 5 miles,
Oh shit. Okay.
yeah,
So you were in the. Would it be safe to say you were in the hood?
we were in the hood,
Oh,
100%
okay.
in the hood. Yeah, 100% in the hood. There was a dude like ODing
Oh, it's
10,
fun.
10 yards from where we parked, just leaning against a fence, like, yeah,
A lot of Narcan gets sent around that area, I bet.
a lot of car alarms, a lot of police sirens. Yep. And I mean, I kind of grew up, I lived in the hood for a long time, so I know a hood when I see a hood. That's when people talk about North Charleston. I'm like, you understand that I moved to North Charleston thinking it was a nice area.
Yeah.
So no, it's not really that. I mean, there probably are not
There's
good
parts,
parts.
there's parts of North Charleston that are nice.
Yeah.
Parts that are not.
I mean, it turns out the place I moved to was not nice, but I didn't know. You remember where I lived?
In Newport. When you first moved here at the apartments?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I would say on a scale of like 0 being, I don't know, the hood in North Charleston, and like a 10 being some of the actually nice neighborhoods in North Charleston. I'd say that apartment complex area is probably a solid 5 at best.
Yeah. I was thinking 4. So
Yeah, 4 or 5 at best. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, take it day by day, time of the day too. Yeah.
my neighbor got robbed at gunpoint. We laid
That's
on the
always
floor
fun.
with my AR. Remember?
Yeah, that's
Yep.
fun.
I had the window cracked a little bit, and I had my AR in my hand. And I was like, one shot's all I need. I'm gonna come out the store and just waste everybody.
You were jonesing for that Conus too, because you hadn't been home that long.
Wanted it. I tell you, it's like I should have brought one with me to Kentucky. I probably could have gotten one.
Well, in South Carolina, you would have been. South Carolina has, I forget the name of the law, but you can use lethal force in defense of someone else,
Right.
if you can justify, or you truly believe that their life was in danger, and a person laying there dead with a gun in their hand certainly would have been enough proof.
For sure. Luckily, no shots were fired. The guy was a drug dealer. I didn't know that, but he disappeared. That was it. Nobody else moved in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He used to always play video games. He'd come outside and smoke cigarettes with his gamer headset on.
Nice.
I guess he was
Definitely a drug
dealing
dealer.
drugs or something.
Selling drugs
Anywho,
on Call of Duty.
yeah. But the rest of the weekend, we hopped around place to place, and we had one. I can't remember the name of it. It was called like Proof or Stave or something like that. Sear, maybe. I think it was Sear. It was like a steakhouse. We went there and had one really nice meal for the trip, and that place was fantastic. Let me actually look this up.
What were the other picks that you did though? You did Yellowstone.
We did 2 wild turkey picks.
2 wild turkey picks.
Yeah.
Nice. Which place had the coolest experience for that whole process?
To be honest, wild turkey.
Yeah.
So it's called Repeal Oak Fire. So they do oak fires and do their steaks on it.
Nice.
I will go there 100% again. So if you're ever in Louisville and you want to eat somewhere fantastic, go to Repeal.
Nice.
You have to make a reservation, but if you're there when they open and just walk to the bar, you can sit at the bar.
Oh, okay.
There was 5 of us, and we ate 22-ounce ribeyes, got massive sides, oysters, Rockefeller. I mean, we got everything with drinks. And it was under $1,000. We thought it was going to be like $1,400.
Yeah. A lot of places are like that. Even like Roots Chris or Halls, like here in Charleston. If you get there when they open and just go sit at the bar, you can eat the same food. You don't have to get a reservation.
Yep. A split 5 ways. It was not bad at all. I don't think for what we got. I mean, we ate. I left there very full. But yeah, then we went to a bunch of places. Like the video will have more stuff in it, I'm sure, and I'll explain some of the stuff. But then the last one we did, it was probably the coolest experience I've ever had in the bourbon world. Is we went to Wild Turkey, and so they were closed. And so we pulled up like at the gate there and just parked at the gate, and we were like, we don't know what to do. So he called the rep, and the rep didn't answer. So we were like, shit, maybe it wasn't today. Maybe we screwed it up.
Yeah.
And then about that time, this car pulled up and was like, this guy got out, this younger guy, like mid-30s, got out and was like, hey, you guys here for the barrel pick? And we were like, yeah. And he was like, cool, I'm Bruce Russell. And it's Eddie. It's the grandson.
Yeah.
So yeah. And so he just walked us over to this Rick House A, walked us in. There was like 6 barrels laying on the ground. And then I have a clip for it. This is kind of how he didn't really say much in the beginning. And then as we started to like kind of hang out and chat, we talked a lot, but this is like how this is basically what it was. Knocking the bung out. Just us and him, nobody else there.
What is it? Did you say this
Spirit.
One was, is it the third one? Oh yeah, we're gonna skip the third.
But yeah, he just knocked the bung out, stuck a thief in there, pulled the whiskey out and poured it in our glasses. And I'm going to show another one because that one was the wrong one, obviously.
Shit written on the barrels. You'll see some frowny faces and circles now.
I'll do no music on there because I don't remember. He was very real though. We were talking, just like normal people would talk,
Yeah.
But he would, we pulled up the barrels and we all got to sip on stuff, and he poured everybody the same amount. You could go back and revisit stuff if you wanted to, but we tasted, I think, 8 barrels while we were in there.
You did 2 picks, you said, right?
Yeah, we picked 2. We picked so all Russell's pick come out at 115 for those that don't know, but we picked them at a little higher proof, so they will be kind of watered down, so we don't know exactly what they're going to taste like, but they were delicious. They all were so good.
That's hard, man. I can't imagine you said at Yellowstone you guys tasted 6 or 7 and having to narrow it down. No, you said you tasted 3 per proof, right?
Yeah, we tasted 9 barrels.
9. And then you said 8 here. Like that's a lot to have to mentally sift through. And I mean, how long did you have to do it? An hour, a couple hours?
He was cool with whatever. We ran over time. He was like, we got to go. There's another group sitting there waiting. And so we were like, oh yeah, we're good. But I mean, the entire time was spent tasting and talking to him, asking him questions. And he was telling stories about his dad. And
yeah.
And I mean, it's like it resonates with you because he was saying that his dad just, he didn't have a relationship with his dad. He was like, for 18 years, I maybe having a 1-hour conversation with him, 1 hour's worth of conversations in 18 years. He's like, because, the guy you see at work and the guy that's at home is 2 different guys. He comes to work and puts on his face. He's like, but he really cares about the whiskey. That's like what he cares about.
Yeah.
And so he got a summer job and he came out with him to work that summer job. And he was doing tours and he was like, I don't really give a shit. I'm just walking around like, yeah, I'm the grandson, whatever, And so he's like, pretty much anything I say, he's like, I throw a little twang on it. Well, I'm just a good old country Southern boy, He's like, I just play the game. And one day my dad came on the tour and he was like, after the tour was done, he was like, you're done the rest of the day. You're going with me. And he took him around. He said he spent 4 hours with him, showing him all the cool stuff, like all the deep secrets. And this is how we do stuff. And this is why we do it. And he was like, at that moment, I realized if I want a relationship with my dad, this is where I need to be.
Yeah.
And he's like, and I'll stay here until Wild Turkey doesn't want me anymore. He's like, I love it here. This is my passion.
That's cool.
It's cool to see that story, that side of it.
That is cool. It's those kind of things are, I think, a huge part of why I know is gravitate towards bourbon. It's not just the spirit itself, but it's we've talked about this before. It's the story, it's the history behind that bottle, each one of those barrels that, that you pull from and drink from. It's each one has a history and a story all to its own.
Yep. There's Just being able to be in there and like go through it all. This is a good one. I had the wrong one pulled up. It turns out it was the one before it. But I'm probably gonna mute this one too, just because I don't know what's said in there. But yeah, you can see the rick house here. It's kind of like, it looks like a rick house, but it's just us and Bruce. And so he, for those that have never seen the bung hit out, you got to hit it like crazy. I've seen people tap it thinking it's going to come out. But he sticks it down in there and just kind of wallers it around to get it to fill up and straighten the glass.
Huh, that's wild.
And he was like, if it's too much, if you're overserved, he's like, just dump it down inside in the floors there. Don't put it back in the barrel, which is funny because we've been places where you
put it back in the barrel. Yeah.
Yeah. We just went barrel by barrel and looked at them all. And he told us the proofs they were at and how old they were, or whatever, the pertinent information. And went from there.
How long until you guys get the barrels or Caleb gets the picks in a store?
There's no telling. It could be months.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if they pulled that barrel off right then and there and put it through the
They
process.
move them over, but then people. So he's telling us about the unions. He's like, so I'm not in the union. He's like, I can't move these barrels. He's like, so if we wanted to taste a different barrel, there's really nothing I can do about it. Like I can't roll a barrel.
You can't physically move a barrel.
Can't move it.
What?
Because if you do that, you're taking work from a union guy.
No way.
Yeah, they're super strict
I did
about
not
it.
know it was that serious.
Yep. So he's like, if we wanted to, if this bung was upside down and we couldn't get to it, I'd have to call a union guy to come in here and roll the barrel over.
So he could charge a half hour or an hour for his time.
Yep. Because if you don't do that, you're taking work from them. You're taking food out of their mouth.
Wow.
Yeah. They're very strict about it.
I guess so.
But he, so we picked them and we put stickers on it. We signed the two that we're getting. Well, we signed one that we're getting and I filmed all that too. I'll have that in there.
Cool.
But, yeah, there's no telling. The Yellowstone one, he actually it'll say Gibby's Bottle Shop and Whiskey and Whitetails on there, which I thought was very generous of him.
That's badass, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you're listening to this, that's pretty sweet.
Yes. Thank you, Caleb. Thank you for the whole weekend. It was quite an experience. It's, we've done it before, but plenty of trips to Kentucky. It's just, it's a little different going with, I was telling them when we were there, I was like, people grow up with like high school friends,
Yeah.
And then your high school friends get married. And then they go out and have these big golf weekends and bachelor, and you hear about it all the time. But like, I've never done that until this weekend. Go with a group of 4 other dudes, and just
have a guy
memories.
Yeah.
Like I've never done that. Have you?
No. I mean, short of like our trips to Camp Hero or what we've done with Whiskey and Whitetails, that's the closest. But I've not gone with a big group like that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's why I told him I was like, it really, you guys tell stories about. You hear guys' stories about guys' weekend and stuff, and it's like, I wish I had some to make up, but I don't have any. And they were like, that's crazy. I was like, well, I mean, all my high school friends are dead. I mean, every single one of them. There's not one that's
that's rough.
Life,
I just found out yesterday a guy that was a friend, not super close friend or anything, but a guy that I knew in college killed himself. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring it. I didn't mean to go from all the way down, but yeah, old friends, shit happens. Where's that echo come from? It keeps coming in and out. You notice that?
I don't hear it on my end.
You don't hear it on your end? Hopefully, it's just my ears.
It's your friend.
Oh, weird. I don't have a button for that.
It's been a rough. I got one.
Here's Johnny.
It's been a rough year for that dude. I wonder if the suicide rates are higher this year than they are normally. I bet you they are.
Spooky music? No.
Yeah.
They probably are, man. Who knows? All the compounding effects of quarantine and all kinds of shit, I'm sure.
Dude. Suicide is the 11th leading cause of death in the United States. 11th.
That's crazy.
That's insane. It is definitely higher this year so far. The average last year was, I don't know what that number means, 14.04. Oh, that's per 1,000. So 14 people per 1,000 people in last year.
That's still a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you think about 1,000 people, it's a good amount of people, but it's not that much. And you say basically 15 of these people just off themselves.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wild. It's wild.
So,
Oh, I have the rest of my drink here.
yeah. Yeah, I got so Andy, the wife's brother, has a new girlfriend, and so he's bringing her and Marshall. If you're listening, thanks for waiting this long. But he's bringing her over, I guess, for Andy to give the family seal of approval.
Okay.
So they must be getting pretty serious over there.
Is Andy pretty critical of his significant others, or has she been in the past?
Only one. Yeah.
Wrong button. Good enough.
Yeah. Only one. Which I mean, I guess I get it. You know, I get it.
Was that one not liked from the get-go, or just
No,
after
loved
the fact?
sister, best
Yeah,
friend.
yeah.
She was
Right.
Andy's friend before she met Marshall, and then
Okay. I thought so.
yeah. I'm not going
Yeah.
to get into it, obviously, but
Well, hopefully it goes well. How long have they been dating, and why is it taking them so long to bring? Probably because it's you.
maybe. I think he's like, I don't know. You're just gonna have to experience it and deal with it.
I don't know how to explain Matt to you. You're gonna have to just have a drink before we go, and
I'm one of those people. You like me or you don't.
buckle up.
If you got soft skin, you're probably gonna hurt your feelings at some point. Not intentionally. I just, it's my house. I'm gonna talk.
Yeah, as you should.
We're making birria.
What's that?
So it's round chuck and rib meat, and you stew it, and then you make tacos out of it.
Oh, okay.
You never had birria before?
Maybe I have. I don't know.
If you haven't,
it's taco, I probably have had it.
so on the outside, it's got it looks like it's like a brown thing.
A brown thing?
I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll just for anyone that's never had it. Present. Share screen. There we go. Here you go. Look at that.
Oh yeah, well you dip it in the stuff and the thing, and you
Yeah.
you kind of fry. Yeah. I've had
So that's how you cook it. You cook the rib meat and the
yeah.
and the chuck, and in this stew here.
Yeah.
You cook it real slow. Then you pull the meat out and shred it, and then you layer it with cheese, and so you dip the outside of the taco shell in the fat that comes off the top of this.
Yeah.
Off the stew.
Mm-hmm.
It is something else, but Andy's really good at it. It's like she's mastered it. It's fantastic tasting.
Sounds great.
We get everything from El Molino. There's two convenient locations to serve you in Charleston, one in West Ashley and one in North Charleston, right by I-26. If you go in there and you can get their meat, their cheese, everything, the peppers, everything you need, you can get in there, and it's not expensive. And it makes a ton of food. It's so good.
Sounds awesome.
And they had fresh strawberry churros in there today.
Oh yeah?
Which I was all about.
We went and picked strawberries this morning.
Did you? Where'd you go?
Hickory Hill Farm up here in not far from Ridgeville. We're not far from the Hunt Club. We went and picked strawberries and blackberries and blueberries.
Yeah? Did you bring them home?
Yes, we did. Brought a bunch home, making some kind of blackberry or blueberry pie, cobbler or something or other. I don't know.
Sounds delicious. You should make a reel with that.
It's a good idea. We're also going to get some peaches, and my mom found some recipe. She wants to do this brown sugar bourbon reduction and make like a peach cobbler with it or something like that. She's supposed to send me the recipe so I can see, but it sounded awesome.
That sounds fantastic. Dude, the figs this year, this will be the last year. I got to cut this tree back. But the figs this year are going to be wild.
Yeah.
There's going to be more figs than I've ever seen. But this is the last year I got to cut the tree back. It's getting too close to the house, and it's like all over the neighbor's yard, and I feel bad.
No.
But
those trees get really big.
Yeah. Well, this one's gigantic right now because I haven't trimmed it in 3 years. So when you trim it, the fruit it doesn't fruit as well.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been trimmed in 3 years. So it's gonna be nuts. And I'm gonna bring in probably all of it to your mom and just have her because I eat the shit out of those
Yeah.
preserves.
Yeah, for sure.
So the ones she did 2 years ago that were kind of like chunky,
Yeah.
and then the ones this year where they were like pureed.
Yeah.
The pureed ones.
So Jessica actually did those.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, my mom does the other ones they're like whole preserves, and then
Yeah.
Jessica did it's like a jam basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
whereas
like them both.
pureed really good. It worked. The pureed one works really good for like cocktails and stuff too because it doesn't leave big
I put it on
chunks.
ice cream.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Hell
Just
yeah.
vanilla ice cream.
Yeah. Good shit. Yeah, it's good on toast. It's good on all kinds of stuff.
I like the chunky ones on toast, but I don't really eat a ton of toast anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll definitely cook that up. She actually does that really easily, and I think just in a crock pot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a couple of ways you can do it, but it's delicious, man. And
Yeah, I'm
we'll
gonna bring some to you. I'm gonna bring a bunch to you, and I'm gonna bring a bunch to Miller's.
oh yeah, hell yeah, for sure.
And if you live in the Charleston area and you want figs, in like 3 months, I'll have more figs than I know what to do with.
The farm we were at this morning actually had a fig tree, and they were telling us that depending on how how it produces, they'll put a notice up and do like a 1 or 2 day thing where people can come out and pull figs. But that thing, I don't know the canopy, I guess, or how wide it is, was like 30 feet from end to
Yeah.
end, from like where the branches on one side stop and to the other. It was like 30 or 40 feet. It was huge.
Yeah, I'm gonna end up cutting mine down and letting it kind of keep its width.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause I can't reach everything at the top, and I'm not climbing in there because the fig trees are like the house to a billion spiders and just like tons of insects live in there because like the ants come up there because it's sweet, and it's just
Yeah.
like there's a ton of food in there for them. We got praying mantises again this year. I got 3 tubs Andy ordered,
Nice.
so we'll birth them soon.
That's cool. Last night we had a little fire. I think I mentioned, and my sister came over, and brother-in-law, nieces and nephews, and they were all just running around playing. And I bought a new fire pit. The old one kind of fell apart, rusted out, and so we hadn't had a fire in a while. So I had a fire in the backyard, and it's fairly close to the palm tree that we have in the backyard. And those palm trees, man, are a just magnet for bugs of all kinds, especially spiders. And I guess the smoke was smoking them out because we had a little spider that came like down in front of my face, and I was like, oh, so I just kind of picked the string, the web, and sort of moved it off to the side, and I looked up, and there were probably 12 or 15 spiders just making their way down, trying to get away from the smoke, just descending down upon us like ninjas.
What kind of spiders?
I don't know what they were. Never like, they're weird, like really skinny, long, skinny legs, and these really thin bodies. They were really
Yeah.
weird looking.
We have the we've got a few as people may or may not know. My wife is what many would call a naturalist, but she's not a vegan. Like she'll eat meat and stuff, but she loves animals and insects and all of it. Some of my earliest memories of us dating is our car broken down because I was in a Volkswagen, and it would break down, and I'd be on the side of the road fixing it, and she'd be sitting in a clover field playing with inchworms or whatever. Anywho, we have those spiny butt spiders, the spiny backed orb weaves.
Yeah.
We have them in the front door now, and we've kind of like, instead of messing with them, it's just if they come down to head length,
Yeah.
I'll just pinch it off, and they haven't been putting it back. So I can walk through there. Marshall's probably going to hit one coming in the door, but both of us can walk right underneath this guy, and he just hangs out there and collects.
That's funny. We had
I like having them around because they keep the bugs down.
yeah. Well, that's what I figured that out in college. We had a spider web that had built a web near our door, and I kept knocking the web down. It would build it again, and I realized that it was doing it because the light there, because it was an apartment complex, the light, which I had no control over, would come on at night. It would attract bugs, and he would eat. Well, I realized that web being there was helping keep the bugs from making their way through the front door. So we weren't getting as many little flies and things through our front door. So I left it there, and we named him Bob. And
Nice.
he was there for like 3 weeks. And then one of our friends come over. We had like a little party, and somebody killed Bob, and we lost our shit and got really mad. We made the guy leave, actually, over killing Bob.
I would have to.
He thought it was really ridiculous, and I told him to fuck off.
Yeah. I totally do that. We've had people before come in here and be like, "You had a huge spider outside. I killed it." It's like, why? Like, what did it do to you? How would you like if I came over to your house and killed one of your family members? How does that feel?
Just shoot him in the living room.
Yeah, I'm gonna come over and kill your dog now. How does that feel?
So you had a really loud dog in your backyard. I killed it for you.
Yeah, I killed it for you. It was annoying me. I
To
was
be
afraid it
fair,
was gonna bite me.
I kill plenty of spiders, but
I
that
think
one
the
was
cats
serving a
take care of
purpose.
it.
We had developed a symbiotic relationship, and so it was
Yeah.
approved. Now, I found a black widow in one of my kids' outside toys the other day. That guy didn't stick around very long,
That one's gonna die.
or
Yeah.
gal, whatever it was.
I think widow would insinuate it's a female.
Well, well, is there a difference between the male and the female? I don't know.
Yeah, the males are brown and they don't look like a black widow.
Oh, okay. So I've seen both around the house. That one's definitely female then.
Yeah. I don't know if the males are poisonous. I'm gonna find out. Are male black widows poisonous? Or
Google it.
venomous, excuse
You
me.
can.
Most male widows are not considered dangerous. So there you go. It's a neurotoxic venom by the females, which causes chest pain, muscle tightness, and cramping.
Sounds uncomfortable.
Yep. But yeah, the males are brown and kind of like scary looking.
Yeah, I've seen them before. I've killed plenty of them around the house.
Yeah. I don't know if that's what I've killed, but I've definitely killed. If they look like that, they're dying for sure. But like the little spiny butt ones and the big golden,
Yeah,
those can live.
it's funny that there's like a it's humans have this, and with spiders is a great example. But it's not written. There's just the subjective, like, where the scary versus not scary line is drawn, and it's different for everybody. So like for some people, all spiders scary, all die. For others, it's like, well, if it's bigger than my hand, prefer it to not be around. But then it's like, if it's bigger than my hand, what the fuck am I supposed to do with it?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I need a firearm at that point. Like the ones that are in Australia could not live in Australia.
I shot one at the hunt club that, remember, like my first year there, it looked like a seashell was attached to its back. It was huge. You don't remember that thing? It was climbing up my antenna on my truck.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. That thing, it looked like a crab. It was gigantic. And I shot it with a 22.
Those are what are those called? Yeah, those are really bad out there. And what's funny is they haven't been that bad in recent years. But to be fair, I stopped going out there until like October. I don't go out there, in July and August as much anymore. So, but they used to be really bad. I think those are silk orb weavers or something like that.
No, those are those big golden ones. Those are cool. I don't know what kind of spider this was.
Oh, okay, never mind then. I'm thinking
you're talking about the golden orb weaver.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are cool. I'm also going with Sheffrey from Miller's All Day, the executive chef Miller's All Day. I'm going with him to
Sheffrey. I've never heard you call him that. It's funny.
Oh yeah, that's what I call him because he's a chef and his name is Jeff. Chef Jeff Sheffrey. I'm going with he got a hunt club piece of property. It's like an hour away.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, he wanted to join our club, but our club is backed up.
Yeah.
Somehow. But he found a club or whatever. So I'm going with him, I think Monday or Tuesday after work, Tuesday evening. We're going to go out there and kind of walk around the property. But he was sending me pictures of it. It backs up to a school.
Weird.
Right. And I thought there was like laws, but I guess not.
Yeah, there's laws about discharging a firearm within so many feet of a residence, let alone a school. I'm pretty sure.
Yep. But I wonder if because the school's surrounded by like fields and parking lots, if at that fence line you're now far enough away.
Oh, it's quite possible. Yeah, it could be true.
I just thought it was wild that I was like, definitely you don't want to put a stand so you're pointing your.
Yeah, it's also South Carolina, and anything a mile in any direction from here, you're in the sticks. So
yeah.
You got to go at least an hour and a half to 2 hours to be in anything, substantial.
That's very true. Everybody's like, oh, I'm coming to Myrtle Beach. You're right there, right? It's like, no, I'm 2 hours from any city you can name in South Carolina. I'm 2 hours from there, minimum.
Yeah,
it's 2 hours to Columbia. No? Yeah, it's an hour to 95 and then an hour to Columbia.
Yeah, it's like an hour and a half. If you're cruising and there's no traffic, you can get there in an hour and a half. But it's 2 hours to get downtown, the heart of Columbia for sure.
Dude, Folly Road today was backed up to Publix.
Fuck Folly Road, man.
I had to make a U-turn and go back roads to get to my house.
Yeah.
I knew it was going to be bad because I sat in traffic yesterday on the way home from work on a Friday, which I've never done. I've never sat in traffic coming home from work ever.
Now, have Have they cracked down on speed and more cops out there since that accident?
We have
That girl
state
got
troopers
killed?
now,
Really?
which I've never seen state troopers here.
Wild.
Yeah, they sit up all up and down Folly Road in unmarked cars, and they pull people over left and right.
Yeah, it's setting a precedence for sure. I'm sure. For
You're
sure.
talking about the golf cart accident?
Yeah, that's fucking terrible, man.
I think it was probably before that when it started, but people die on Folly Road every day because people are just insane. They blow through. There was a guy I work with was telling me there was an accident where he lives a little bit closer to Folly than I do,
Mhm.
but there was some chick where it splits to 2 lanes. She had
Yeah.
jumped over in the median to pass both cars, and when she did that, there was a car right there was oncoming right there and just pulled right out in front of somebody coming in the other lane.
What are people thinking?
I don't know. It's like they think they're the only person on the road. I don't know.
I mean, I know there's a tendency, people spend all day at the beach or you're bar hopping around there. There's probably a lot of alcohol and, related accidents on that road, I'm sure.
Well,
But
the one on Folly she was, what was that, like her 3rd DUI?
oh yeah, she was, I forget what she blew, but yeah, she was 100% drunk. And her
Did you see
third,
the video?
no, of the accident?
No, of her talking to the
Oh,
body cam.
no, I didn't see that at all.
She
No.
was talking to the cop, and she was like, he was like, I'm arresting you for murdering a bride on her wedding day. For those that don't know, there was a bride and her husband were leaving, I guess, a wedding or
Yeah, they were
reception.
hanging out downtown, the reception.
And they were, yeah, this one is on Folly Road, and they were driving down on the beach, and this woman just came out and just ran him over. Basically, it killed the woman. I don't think it killed the groom. But could you imagine on your wedding day, 8:15 p.m. Wednesday, according to the chief? He said she attempted to pass another vehicle on the bridge, but her car struck another head on. Oh, that was a different one. That's the one I was just talking about. See, there's so many accidents.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, so the body cam footage, she was talking to the cop, and he was like, we're taking you to jail. She's like, I have to go to work in the morning. And he was like, okay. He's like, you killed someone in a golf cart. We're taking you to jail because you're drunk. And she's like, I understand, but I have to be at work in the morning. Like, she was so drunk, she didn't understand. Her name was Jamie Komorosoki, 25 years old. And a gray Toyota hit a golf cart on their wedding night. Crazy. Crazy. She was charged with 3 counts of felony DUI resulting in great bodily injury and death. Should probably get out of it.
Yeah, probably.
I'll tell you what, if that was my wedding day and that was my bride you killed and you got out of it,
You wouldn't be out of it.
you wouldn't be out of it. Ooh, might have another pour.
Right.
I'm making margaritas. So when I went to Beam's place,
Mhm.
Andrew Beam, that is, when I went there, the guy that kind of lives right there where he lives had us over for dinner, and he made margaritas, and he gave me the secret, which is you buy jalapenos and you cut the seeds out of it,
Uh-huh.
and then you throw in a food processor and you basically liquefy them, and then you add it to the margarita mix with tequila to cut the sweetness. But it adds like this jalapeno. It tastes like it's jalapeno hot, and you're going to be in trouble. But
Yeah.
there's no heat because there's no seeds,
Hmm.
and it's fantastic. I need a cough button. Oh wait,
There you go.
look at that. Sick. What are you doing the rest of the day?
What am I doing the rest of the day? Oh, I've got to finish. I got to finish the design on some of our stuff for the in-store packaging stuff. I got to order so we can get these things in. I've been getting emails asking where I can come in and pick up a product for Father's Day. So I've been telling people for Father's Day, if you're local and you're looking to order something online, I will be. And I think I forgot to tell you this, Matt, but so I'm telling you now. We'll be at the market next Friday, Father's Day weekend, from 6:30 to 10:30.
I will be in Virginia, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to. I just picked 2 dates that I knew I could do, just because I wanted to make sure we do at least our minimum 2 nights for the month. But yeah, so if you're local and you want to grab a product, I'll be there. Otherwise, you're gonna have to order probably before Wednesday, so you can make sure it has time to get to you.
When's Father's Day? Next Sunday?
Yeah, next Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. I will I ship same day. So as orders come in, the ship station is right here. As orders come in, I ship. So I even shipped this morning. So I shipped we got we got orders all day yesterday after that. Some
Promo.
Etsy stuff as well. And so this morning at whatever 10 o'clock, I was at the UPS store dropping stuff off. So there's we even ship on Saturdays. I can't say that's always the case because we've had problems before where I'll print a shipping label Friday night, and then it doesn't move till Monday, and then people bitch about it. It's like, well, you said you shipped Friday. It's like, okay,
yeah. Well, there's a place I order from that has a nice. I think I've brought this up before. I need to just do it and create the graphic, but it's like a bar that goes to the bottom of the emails whenever you order, and it's like first 24 hours, order is processed, and then it tells you like on this day, the shipping labels printed.
Yeah.
Right. And then it shows like 1 to 2 days after the order is actually processed and it will be shipped. So it's right there in the beginning. It says, hey, just because the label is shipped doesn't mean, or is printed doesn't mean it's been shipped.
The other thing too is depending on how many orders we get, I have to call and get pickups because I can't walk into. I mean, we've all been to a post office before. I can't walk into a post office with a cart full of boxes. I have to schedule that. So we will do pickups if there's a large amount of orders.
And
so if you're stuck on a pickup thing and they don't come to pick up, it's not my fault.
And I have done the pickup thing a couple of times now from my house here, and they are notorious for just saying they did it so they don't have to get out of their fucking vehicle.
Yeah.
And just continuing to drive.
And the other thing too, if I can give any advice, UPS is usually like 1 or 2 cents cheaper, but we have had more problems with packages going missing on UPS than USPS, which is a shocker because it used to be the opposite.
Yep. Yeah, during COVID, I think USPS got their shit rang, and I think they worked out some kinks. It's been a lot better since then. So, yeah. So that's all I got planned for the rest of the day. Probably cook some steaks or something.
That sounds good. Steaks are fun. All right. Well, I'm gonna go finish cleaning the house before they get here and all that stuff. So
awesome. Well, let me know how the meet and greet goes. Sounds fun.
Will do. Thanks everybody for listening. As you know, you can use code podcast, save 20% on everything in our store. You can use code SMOKE right now, get 30% off our cocktail smoker kits, which takes them down to what we actually wholesale them at, $35. So
yep. And that sale goes through midnight Monday, the day after Father's Day. So if Father's Day comes and you hate your dad and you didn't buy him something and you feel guilty on Monday, you still have time to buy something.
And leave us a note and we will write in there, sorry about the delay. This was ordered well in time to get here. We dropped the ball.
We'll cover your ass. Or we'll write and say that, hey, I hate you and it took me a while to come around to buying this.
Yeah.
But here you go.
Yeah. It took me longer than it should have to convince myself to buy you something, you miserable piece of shh.
I am your father.
That's a good way to end it.
All right. Have a great day. Have a great week.
Yep. Bye.
Love you. Bye.